In a place where the line between good and evil is blurred, a young dragon named Luke found himself in a situation he could never have imagined. Luke, with his emerald scales and wings that shimmered in the sunlight, had just moved into a new house at the edge of the enchanted forest. This house, unlike any other, had a reputation for being eerie and mysterious. Luke had always been adventurous, but nothing prepared him for what lay ahead. His friend Brian, a curious and brave boy, decided to help Luke settle into his new home. As they unpacked boxes and arranged furniture, they couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched. The first night was uneventful, but as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Doors creaked open by themselves, and whispers echoed through the hallways. One evening, as Luke and Brian were preparing dinner, the lights flickered and went out. They heard a chilling voice whisper, "Leave this place." Luke's heart raced, and Brian's face turned pale. "Did you hear that?" Brian asked, his voice trembling. Luke nodded, his eyes wide with fear. Determined to uncover the truth, they decided to explore the house further. They found an old, dusty journal hidden in the attic, filled with cryptic messages and drawings. The journal revealed that the house was once owned by a powerful sorcerer who had vanished mysteriously. It warned of a curse that would bring misfortune to anyone who dared to live there. Luke and Brian knew they had to break the curse, but they didn't know how. As the nights grew darker, the supernatural events intensified. One night, Luke woke up to find a ghostly figure standing at the foot of his bed. The figure pointed towards the attic and vanished. Luke knew they had to return to the attic to find more clues. Brian and Luke climbed up to the attic, their hearts pounding. They discovered a hidden door behind an old bookshelf. Inside, they found a room filled with magical artifacts and a portrait of the sorcerer. The portrait's eyes seemed to follow them as they moved around the room. In the center of the room was an ancient spell book. Brian carefully opened it and found a spell to break the curse. However, the spell required a rare ingredient, a tear from a dragon. Luke knew what he had to do. With great courage, he let a single tear fall onto the spellbook. As soon as the tear touched the book, a bright light filled the room. The curse was lifted, and the house seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The ghostly figure reappeared, now looking peaceful and grateful. "Thank you," it whispered before fading away. With the curse broken, the house transformed. It was no longer eerie and foreboding but warm and inviting. Luke and Brian had not only solved the mystery but had also made the house their home. They knew that their bond of friendship and bravery had helped them overcome the darkest of challenges. From that day on, Luke and Brian lived happily in the house at the edge of the enchanted forest, always ready for their next adventure. The line between good and evil was no longer blurred, for they had proven that courage and friendship could conquer even the most terrifying of curses.